All right, why didn't it work whenever I was just coming in with the tip? That explains to you the safety chain. You can't bore cut with these things. It's because of this. Can you see that, babe? This extra hump right here?
It's, yeah, there we go.
This right here, whenever it's down here on the tip, it's hitting before the tooth is. So it creates a situation to where you can't bore cut. This is your safety chain. It keeps it from kicking back on you. But once I used the flat of the chain, I was able to hook onto the bottle, pop that top. Okay, gang, so one of y'all asked me to do a video all about chains and the differences between them. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to tell you everything about chains. Hell, not even everything that I know about chains, because that would be a long video. But let's get to it. Basically, you have 3 differences. Basically. Well, of course, you got size differences and stuff, but the makeup of the chain. I do like an O'Doul's. You have what's known as full chisel, semi-chisel, and you have safety chain in both of those categories. All right. So let me show you the difference first off with full chisel and semi-chisel. I want to use something that's good here. All right. This is a full chisel, which means basically you have a 90-degree angle here to here. It is a squared off, straight cut angle. Whereas, here you have a semi-chisel. The semi-chisel chain, this is an Oregon 325, it's smooth. It's rounded over right there. You don't have that hard chiseled edge. So this is a semi-chisel. The point of this, blow it clean there. The point of this is because it doesn't have such a hard angle right there, and it's a rolled over round edge, it stays sharp longer. It'll take more abuse, right? Now it will never get as sharp and cut as fast and as clean as a full chisel will, but these do just fine. These do really well, all right? They just don't carry as much speed. Now, non-safety, what you have, we're back to that archer chain, you have a depth gauge right there, and you have your cutter, and that's it, it's flat. Depth gauge, cutter. Whereas your safety, you have the depth gauge right there, or the raker, cutter, and you have this hump right here. See how that works? If you have that extra hump right beside your raker, basically it's kind of like you've got 2 rakers. That is a safety chain. All right, now let's talk about it. Get back over here. All right, pros and cons. Well, we already talked about the speed pro, okay? The pro of the semi-chisel, and it tends to be what people that know prefer to run, right? If you're just a homeowner and you don't know, you're just buying whatever the hell they have at Ace Hardware or Home Depot or whatever. You're just buying whatever the hell they got. All right? I know, been there, right? But if you know the better chains, what most people seem to go for is full chisel, non-safety raker. You don't want that safety raker, it slows you down. Not only does it slow you down, it almost, in some cases with certain brands, right? In some cases, it literally prevents you from bore cutting, right? What I'm doing in this video right here, that is bore cutting. And some safety chains will allow you to still bore cut, but they don't do it very well, right? And it's because that extra raker is preventing your cutter from getting purchase, okay? Now the reason it's doing this is because it is trying to eliminate kickback, all right? Watch this video. So this right here is a full chisel setup on my FCO 165, and whenever I try to bore cut, if I just do it haphazardly, I come in there and boom, it really kicks me, right? It really kicks hard. Now, of course, in this video, I'm prepared for it. I'm making sure that my wrist is located where it needs to be so that if it goes too far back, my brake will stop the chain. But yeah, whenever bore cutting with a safety chain, it's a lot safer, right? But it also doesn't cut as well during the bore cut. Some chains, they won't even let you bore cut at all. I think one of those is the Oregon LGX 3/8 chain. I'm not certain, but I think that it won't even let you bore cut. But anyways, so yeah, the difference between safety chain versus non-safety is the safety chain makes it, can make it more difficult to bore cut, but it also makes it more safer because you have a lot less of a chance of it kickback. I mean, this right here is my Shindaiwa 488, and I'm slamming it into this oak, slamming it, and it's just not climbing. So, now it'll still bore cut, but it just won't climb. So what happens is that safety raker, whenever you're going around the tip, it protrudes out and it just literally does not give the tooth purchase enough to actually bite in and want to climb the log. That's what's happening whenever you have kickback. Your chain is trying to climb up the log. And so that's why we have the safety rakers. The safety rakers are to help prevent kickback, right? And they're perfectly fine for most people, but what they do is they do two things that are undesirable. Number one, they can make it difficult and in some chain cases nearly impossible to bore cut. You'll be pushing real hard, you can't get it to go through, and people burn the tips up on their bars doing this. And the other thing is, well, it's more drag and it slows down your chain. And if most people, they don't give a shit about a second here and there, so it's not a big deal. But so let's get back on, let's go away from the safety chain. I think I made my point with that. The semi-chisel versus the full chisel. The full chisel, that's where you get your cut speed, right? You want a full chisel, you get your cut speed from that, and it's nice, you cut faster, right? In most cases, considerably faster. However, some companies have done really well in making a good semi-chisel chain. The Husqvarna X-Cut semi-chisel is a fine example of that. It is a very good chain, especially the 325 version. The 325 version has a really narrow kerf, and it's an excellent cutting semi-chisel chain. So I really like that stuff. But, if you want speed, then you don't want that semi-chisel, right? So nearly all of my chains are full chisel, and I've got hundreds of them all over the place. The reason you want semi-chisel is if you are cutting dirty wood. If you're cutting dirty wood, the semi-chisel tends to stay sharp longer. However, it still dulls. And if you're cutting really dirty wood, you need a carbide chain. So I think I got that right, a carbide chain, carbide tip chain. They got little carbide tips. Anyways, but they don't cut very fast at all. They're really slow, and you can't sharpen them unless you have the right sharpening stone. And so everything has its benefits, its pluses and minuses. So let me get real quick down dirty to the sizes. Basically, you have two categories. You have more than that, okay? But we're keeping it simple, okay? Your two basic categories are 325, which is going to be basically from 45 cc's to 60 cc's. Quite often they'll come with 325 chain. 60 cc's is a stretch. Usually at that point they're already at 3/8, but you know, some of them. I guess you would probably draw the line. The cutoff would be like 54 cc's. You can put them on anything, but I'm just saying what they come with from the factory. 325 is a nice chain, a nice size. They tend to cut quite fast because you have more teeth per foot of chain. And then the other big, the most popular size there is 3/8. 3/8 chain, and we're describing the actual distance between three. It's so stupid. It's the distance. Let me show you. This is a 3/8 chain. And the distance between three rivets, 1, 2, 3. All right, that distance right there is going to be 6/8 of an inch, which is like 3/4 of an inch. Cut that in half, and that's your 3/8 measurement. This is so stupid. You know what I mean? Why the F did they measure that way? Why didn't it just measure this? You know, why? But no, it's 1, 2, 3. And that's going to add up to be 3/4 of an inch. Well, 3/4 of an inch is actually 6/8. And you divide that by 2, which I don't know why they want you to do that, but that gives you your 3/8. Now, you do the exact same thing with a 325 chain. I'm sorry, I'm really finding this humorous because it's fucking stupid. I'm calling it what it is. It's stupid. But you do the exact same thing with 325 chain, but I guess it just doesn't work out well to have fractions, and so you got to go to tenths, and it's 0.325 of an inch. It's just so stupid. America and the damn imperial measurement system or whatever, it's just the dumbest thing ever. And so anyways, you also have like 404, which is a really big chain, right? That's 0.404 of an inch. So it's almost half of an inch. Anyways, 404 chain, and you have 3/8 low profile chain. 3/8 low profile is going to go on your little saws, like your little top handles, things like that. Your little small cheapo saws. Anyways, but that's a different story. The basic sizes are your 325 and your 3/8 chain. And then from there, the inside, there's a, right? The inside of a chainsaw bar, that groove right there, right? That has a measurement. There's 3 different measurements. There's 0.050, right? So what is that, 5/1000ths of an inch? No, 50/1000ths of an inch, which is 5/1000ths of an inch? Yes. No. 50/1000ths of an inch. You have, and you also have 058, which is 58/1000ths of an inch, and you have 063, which is 63/1000ths of an inch. That's the gauge of the drive links and the gauge of the bar, right? So, like this setup on this saw right here is a 20-inch bar, 3/8 of an inch, 72 drive links, 0.050, full chisel. Whenever I first started this little game and I was having to learn about all of that, it blew my mind how complicated it was. I was like, whoa, why? Well, here's pro tip, okay? If you're just new and starting out, make everything .050. The stuff is more readily available than .058 and .063. It's just as good in my opinion. And now if you get into some technicalities and stuff and you're making a raised chain, there are some people that like .058 or .063 because of the better back and forth resistance it has. It's a little thicker and stronger. But anyways, for the most part though, most average Joe, just go with .050, right? That's the gauge of the bar. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's enough. Just thought I'd throw that video out for you real quick while I had me a brewski. That was pretty cool how it wouldn't open the bottle of beer, isn't it? Because of the safety chain. I had to get it off of that tip. Once I got it down here to the flat, I was able to open it. Cool. Safety chain.